Hi guys, today I have a really simple recipe for you for the rhubarb season. So the season is still not over and I thought I want to share a couple of more recipes to use the rhubarb, and today I want to share a really simple but really delicious rhubarb strawberry jam. So let's get started. I have a medium pot here and I'm just gonna add everything to it. So first my strawberries. I've just chopped them up a little bit, and then also the rhubarb, which I've also chopped up, as you can see. So just so that you have small pieces. Then I'm also adding the sugar. The amount of sugar that I'm using is not to preserve the jams for longer time. So if you want to preserve the jam for over a longer period, then you should double the amount of sugar, so that the amount of sugar is the same that the amount of the fruit. I'm gonna use the jam within the next week, so that's why I'm not using as much sugar. And then I'm also gonna add in about 2 teaspoons of vanilla paste. You could also just use a vanilla pod, just half it and scrape in the vanilla bean, and you can also, or the insides of the vanilla bean, and then you can also add the vanilla bean into the pot. You can then remove it on a later point. So now I've just given it all a short mix, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna leave it like this for about half an hour. You will notice that the fruit is gonna start releasing juice. So when you notice that it's starting to release juice and there's juice at the bottom of your pot, then you can start cooking the jam. So for now we are just gonna leave this aside. What I meant with the juices is this. So I hope you can see there's a lot of liquid that the fruit has released being mixed with the sugar. So now you can start cooking the jam, and we are just gonna turn the heat to medium and cook the jam until it's nice and thick. So here you can decide yourself how thick you want to make the jam. Just allow it to bubble and test it and look at the consistency, and then stop cooking when you're happy with the consistency. So as I said, if you're planning to use it fairly fast, then you can use the same amount of sugar that I used and also cook it to your liking. If you're going to preserve it, then you need to cook it for longer and also add a bit more sugar. First, you will notice that there is a lot of liquid, so the fruit is gonna release a lot of liquid, and you just want to keep on cooking. First of all, to actually make the fruit really nice and soft, and then start reducing that liquid to your liking, like I said before, so to the thickness that you want. And I prefer to do this on medium heat. And when the jam is boiling, you might notice there's this kind of foam, this pink foam building on top of the jam. I don't think it's a must to remove it, but I remember my grandma always doing it, so I like to remove it carefully with a spoon. And as you can see, the fruit is really soft now. It's still really liquid-like. So now what I'm doing, I'm just allowing it to simmer and to reduce to a jam consistency, and I'm just checking it once in a while and giving it a mix, and then also removing that foam that I showed to you. So now you can see it's getting thicker. I still want to thicken it a little bit more, but at this point you can see how the jam looks like, and you can then decide whether this is the consistency that we want to have, or if you want it a little bit thicker, then just continue reducing it and cooking it. So now I've been reducing the jam for quite a while. You can see the difference. Even if I draw a line like this, it stays for a little, and if I show you like this, you can see that it's become really thick. It stays even on this silicone spatula, so you should be testing with a wooden one, then you will really see the consistency of the jam. But you can see with the silicone spatula as well that it's become really thick, and this is how I like to cook my jams. So I watch them while I cook them so that the consistency is really nice at that point already. It will thicken a little bit further while it cooks, while it chills and becomes cold, but this is how I like to make the jam. So now I'm gonna remove it from the heat, and I'm gonna transfer it to the jars and allow it to cool completely, then cover and store in the fridge. Like I mentioned in the recipe, I made the jam quite thick. You can, however, make it to your liking. I'm gonna use part of the jam for a cheesecake, so you want to stay tuned for that. I'm gonna share the recipe for it, so that's why I really wanted to make the jam really thick. And the rest of it, I think we are gonna enjoy on the weekend with some homemade crepes, some pancakes, and I'm gonna share the recipe for those for you here as well, in case you want to make them and surprise your family and then serve the jam with these crepes. Whenever I make jams, I usually make them to eat them right away. So that's why I didn't include the part on conserving jams in this video, because, well, I'm being honest with you, I'm not an expert on that. I haven't really looked into that. I'm sure you can find better information on that online. So if you want to preserve the jam, then check that, and I'm sure you can preserve the jam then to use it over a longer period of time. What I like to do is I just make the jam from the fresh fruit when I see that I have too much and I cannot use it up, so I don't really plan making jams, but it just happens like this. And then I just plan on using it for something like the cheesecake that I'm gonna make and the pancakes that I'm gonna serve the jam with. And then if I still have a lot of leftover, what I do, I just freeze the jam, so then I don't have to go through the preserving process. I can freeze it and use it for about 2 months time, and it's still gonna be really good. So that's a little tip for you. If you don't want the hassle of preserving the jam, then this is the way that you can do it as well, and then still use the jam for a longer period of time. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you did, don't forget that thumbs up for support. And also, if you're new to my channel and if you want to get that cheesecake recipe, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss any of the new videos. So if you tap the bell, you will get a notification whenever a new video is out. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye until next time.